Okay, so I guess this is kind of a little bit of different path or different kind of talk than a lot of the other people have talked about, because they've talked about their own personal experiences with prisons and stuff like that, whereas mine is kind of somewhat in a different direction. In mine, my little brother was my best friend, and we did everything together. And we would always be together, and we would play cards, just random card games at the local card store. Every Saturday, we would do it. Well, in 2007, it was St. Patrick's Day. We were there playing cards. All the other guys, including myself, were over 21. Everybody's like, let's instead of playing cards, let's all go out and get drunk and drink and have fun. My little brother was 20. He couldn't go. So instead, I stayed with him, and we played cards. And then I got so upset because he kept beating me. I couldn't win. And so he was getting frustrated because I was getting upset. And it's like, look, I don't want to be here. He was never a person that wanted conflict. He would always try to run or avoid conflict at all times, which is odd because he was also in the military. I don't know why he would join the military if he wants to avoid conflict at all time, but that's just something that he believed in. He believed that he needed to serve and protect. And well, on that St. Patrick's Day, he went and was out with some friends, and they were drinking. Him and his girlfriend had been having some fights and a lot of issues. Well, she went to go and pick him up from the party that he was at. They were coming home, and they were literally at the corner of their apartment. Say, this is the road, that speaker is where their apartment is. And they just turn right here, and they park at the edge of the street. And then they get out and they walk into their apartment. They started having an argument. So again, his initial reaction is to get away from the situation. So when they were stopped, he got out of the vehicle, and she pulled around to go and park. When she turned around, she didn't see him anymore. She didn't know where he went. And then all of a sudden she saw him, and he was laying in the road. He was ran over by a drunk driver. We never found out who it was, so a lot of people were like, well, how do you know it was a drunk driver? One of the things that the police officers told us when they were doing their investigations is they showed us his clothing, and you could see the tire treads going over his shirt. And they were able to match that same tread to a local bar that was just a little bit further down. And they tried pulling police cameras to try to find out who it was. But the bar didn't have a working camera, so they weren't able to find it. But they were able to see various skid marks and sporadic driving from that bar to where my brother was hit. So they knew that the driver wasn't driving responsibly. And it was I'm going to go back a little bit. So a few months previous to that, I go to sit down to use the restroom. It was late at night. Go to sit down to use the restroom. My little brother comes running and banging on the door. One of our nephews was running across the highway, not a highway, but a major intersection to go get him a Slurpee with a friend. He was hit, flew into the air like a rag doll, landed, stood up, dusted himself off. He was perfectly fine. But my little brother just came in banging on the door and just said, Jonathan got hit. Jonathan got hit. I'm barefoot. I'm a pretty big guy. My little brother was pretty fast. Me and him running down the street barefoot, ran 6 blocks to where my nephew was. And he was perfectly fine. Now to go forward a few months, now, again, I'm going to sit down and use the restroom. This time, my nephew is banging on the door, saying, Ronnie, Scott got hit. He got hit. It's just like a deja vu all over again. We go to the hospital, they won't let us go anywhere. They move us over to the little safe room or the bereavement room. And they go in and they come in and they tell us, we're sorry, we lost them, there wasn't anything we could do. And that was hard. That day, a piece of me died. There's a hole that can never be filled. And a lot of my family, they were all like, we need justice. We want to know what happened to the person that hit him. Like, we need justice. We need this to end. And a lot of people were all saying, oh, this is horrible. The person that did it should go to jail. Something should happen to them. They need to be on death row, this and that. And I don't believe that. Like, my brother wouldn't want that. Like, the police or the news agencies or the news companies, channels, whatever you want to call them, they were doing interviews with us and stuff. And the thing that I was always saying is I wouldn't want anything to happen to that person that hit my brother and ran over my brother. One family has already lost a loved one. I don't want for their family to lose a mother, a father, a child, a sister, a brother. There's no need in that. We've already lost my brother. No other family needs to lose a loved one, because that's what prisons do. When people go to prison, you lose that loved one. You lose that family member. And then people pass away when you're in prison. And you don't get to have that goodbye. You don't ever get to say, I'm sorry for all the things that I did or all the things that I said to you while I was inside. One of my older brothers, he was in prison when my little brother passed away. The last conversation that they had together was a fist fight. And they said they never wanted to talk to each other ever again. And they never did. And it's haunted my brother since that day. And he says he'll never be able to forgive himself for what he did and for the way he treated our brother. But I don't want anything to happen to that person. It's not our place to judge or to convict or to say, this person did something bad, we need to do something to them. It's not our place. The person that hit my brother, they're going to have to live with that for the rest of their life, knowing that they took that person's life. That is punishment enough. Anybody that's ever done anything wrong, you have that guilt. You have that inside of you. And you know how much it hurts. That's all you need. That's the only punishment we need, because we're not the ones that's punishing, that should be doing the punishing. It's the person that's up there, that's above us. They're the ones that should be doing the punishing and not us. We don't need to judge. It's not our fault. It's not our place. We just need to make sure that we take care of one another, be responsible for one another, be responsible for ourselves, protect the people that you love. Guess that's about it.
I would like to thank a lot of people. Obviously, all of the people who came through our coalition, Counterbalance ATX, Justice for Rodney Reed, Democratic Socialists of America, Fight for 15. You can go on our blog, the full list, Alianza Internacional, Inmate Lives Matter San Antonio, and I'm sorry the heat is getting to me and probably forgetting a few people. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to all of the speakers. I want to give a quick shout out to JLK for coming out and doing all of our filming and photography. If you want more of the audio or the video from this rally, you can go to tinyurl.com, amend the 13th, and you will be able to get all of that information. Please let us know what you're sharing on social media. Please take a postcard and write to a prisoner. Please take a postcard and write to a prisoner. They're right over there. Lots of postcards, lots of prisoners. If you enjoyed Blackjack's music, write him a postcard. If you enjoyed hearing from Greg Curry, write him a postcard. We didn't have a chance to talk about them, but just a quick shout out to Vanessa Gibson and to Charisma Garcia. They are both trans women who are held in men's prisons. Write them a postcard. Can't write a postcard today? Join us Tuesday, Guan Yin Tea House, and you can write a postcard there or from home in your bunny slippers. Is this starting to become thematic? Write a damn motherfucking postcard, okay? And when our brothers and sisters resist, however they resist, whether you agree with their tactics or not, support them. Support them on Facebook, support them on Twitter, support them on Instagram. Go in front of the jail, go in front of the prison. Write them a motherfucking postcard. Visit them. Make sure that you are helping to uplift their voices. It is incredibly rare for prisoners to be able to reach across the razor wire and speak on their own behalf, which is why we must speak for them until we have abolished this system once and for all. Thank you very much for coming.